Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Black Hellhound once again, and today we are going to take a look at how to improve your gameplay. We're not going to take a look at how to do certain maneuvers, however. We are going to take a look at what you have to do at any moment in the game when you are not engaging or you are engaging multiple enemies. Now let's start in the beginning. The first thing that you always need to think about is positioning. Putting yourself in the correct position that will give you the biggest advantage that you can possibly have. Now in every single plane, being above the enemy is a gigantic advantage. So the first thing I always do is climb. Get above the enemy. Once you're above the enemy, the advantage you have is that the enemy cannot attack you because they would have to climb and they would lose all their energy. However, you can attack the enemy because you can dive and you can get a lot of energy. Positioning is, I think, the second most important thing that you can possibly do to improve your gameplay. The second thing, and the most important thing, is situational awareness. This includes knowing where the enemy is, what planes they are flying, and how big of a threat they are. Now let's start with the beginning. Where are they? You always want to know at any moment in the game where the enemy is positioned. This way you will be able to select your targets later on. This will also tell you who is being engaged by a teammate and who is not. Many people often forget to look at their teammates. They start looking around, they start looking where the enemies are, they see someone they can attack, but what they don't know is that there are already 3 players on his 6. That's not gonna work. It is not smart to engage someone that is being attacked by multiple teammates. This is why it is important that you always know where the enemy and the team is. The second thing is plane assessment. You want to know what the enemy planes are capable of. Are you looking at an energy fighter? Are you looking at a dogfighter? Or are you looking at a bomber? This is very important later on, once again, to figure out how you are going to engage that person. Let's say there's an energy fighter and he is diving. There's absolutely no use in going after him if you're flying in, for instance, a Spitfire. So it is very important at all moments in the game to know what the enemy planes are capable of. And then there is, of course, threat assessment. Trying to figure out who is the most dangerous person to you and to your team at that moment in the game. For instance, someone is above you. He is a bigger threat than someone that is below you. Or, and there might be 2 players at the same altitude as you. They are both dogfighters. You are in a dogfighter, but one of them is 5 kilometers closer to you. It is very important then that you do not attack the guy that is the furthest away. In such a situation, it is sometimes very smart to actually go back to your teammates. Once you have figured out who is the most dangerous person, you can start with the next thing, choosing the exact target you are going to attack. Now you have already kind of done this when you were assessing the threat of each player. But sometimes a plane can be very dangerous, but for instance there's a teammate engaging it. At such a point you still need to keep a very close eye on it, but he doesn't need to be your direct target. Unless of course he is right on your 6 and you need to get rid of him. It is very, very important that when you choose the target you're going to attack, that you do not only look at who am I going to attack, but once again fall back on the plane assessment, take a look at what his plane is capable of, and then create a plan to engage. It is very important that with every plane you engage, before you start doing anything, you are going to take a look at how you can engage him the best way. Let's say you're in an energy fighter and there is a dogfighter underneath you. Let's say a Spitfire is underneath you and you are flying in a 109. What you don't want to do is start turning. Spitfire will absolutely demolish you if you do that. If you go for an energy fight and you choose to dive on him, and if you miss or you don't have a good shot, you climb back up again, you keep the advantage. And the same goes with a dogfighter. Of course it's the other way around. You want to get the enemy in a turn fight with you. Now let's sum up what we have just discussed. The first thing, and possibly the second most important thing, is positioning. Putting yourself in a position that is as good as possible. The second thing, situational awareness. This is made out of 3 points. Positioning of the enemy, the plane assessment, and the threat assessment. These are very, very important because with these you can find out what the best target is for you to engage. Of course, choosing the right target. Maybe the biggest threat is not always the best target for you to engage. It is always very good to take your threat assessment, your situational awareness into the choosing of your target. The last thing you want to do then is make a plan to engage the enemy. To make this a little bit more clear, I'm going to use the same clip as I've just shown you and tell you exactly what I do at any moment in the game. Now right here, as you could see, I was climbing. I was busy with the first stage of getting myself in the best position to engage the enemy, which is getting the altitude. Climb, get altitude. It is absolutely a must to get some altitude if you want to be able to engage the enemy. Now what you can see me do here is look all over the place. I'm assessing the situation. Where's the enemy? What planes are they in? And how big of a threat are they? Now at this moment, as you can see, I'm switching between the Yak 9 and the LA5 constantly, because they are both being engaged by teammates, but one of the two is a bigger threat, and that is the one that I would rather try to take out. Now at this moment I decide the LA5 is a bigger threat. Why? There's a second one. Plus, the Yak 9 is flying in the exact opposite direction. He is flying away from me. These LA5s are coming towards me, which makes them more dangerous. I'm not climbing anymore. Why not? They are diving, and I want to get my speed up. So right now, once again, I am positioning. And as you can see, I am still looking all over the place, trying to find more and more enemies. And I'm also keeping an eye on the enemies that we had already seen. Now right now I think that guy is a threat when I noticed he's diving. I'm gonna leave him alone. Now that guy is the biggest threat, That's why I'm engaging him. But a teammate decides to engage him, and I find absolutely no good reason to follow up on the attack. I am keeping an eye on him though, and right here I am positioning myself again, and then I do go after him. Now here I am clearly using my altitude advantage. I am diving on him. I do need to watch out that I don't go too fast, of course, because this is a Spitfire. But I am making use of the fact that I can get a lot of speed, whereas he cannot. Now right here I can notice I can't follow him in the turn, so I'm once again positioning myself and looking around for the situational awareness, threat assessment and plane assessment. I now see that the LA5 that I was engaging is no longer the biggest threat. So, in order to help my teammate, I'm going to attack these other planes. Now right here, if I would have gone in, that would have ended bad for me. So I decide to climb a bit and get myself in a good position again. Now once again, I take a quick look, get a good situational awareness, and I dive down. I go after the yak initially, but then I notice the LA5 is falling behind. If I would have gone for the yak, I would have put myself in a perfect firing position for the LA5. So I switch target very quickly. Here I roll over again, and the LA5, you see, is not a danger. Why not? He's going slow, he's going the other way. There's no way he's going to engage me soon. The yak 1, however, I'm on his tail. I'm gonna finish him off. Right here, little use of my energy by climbing instead of turning the other way. Using the climb to make my turn even sharper, and of course get some beautiful shots into him. Then the LA5 pulls up in front of me, but I have almost no cannon rounds left, unfortunately. One thing that I also notice, and I believe it happens just after this. Yep, right there. My teammate is on his 6. Very close. I back off. Why? I do not know if he has noticed me, but I have noticed him. It is important for me not to hit him. I mean, who likes to take out his own teammate? So I back off. Now the LA5 was already in trouble. If my teammate would not have been able to take out the LA5, I would have been in a good position to engage him again. At this moment, I know there's not a lot of enemies left, so I'm going to help my team to engage these guys. Now one of them just died. I look at the scoreboard to find out how many players are left. Now we can clearly see 1, but I could see on the scoreboard there are 2 people alive. So I'm checking my 6 constantly because I don't want him to suddenly appear behind me and shoot the crap out of me. So I keep an eye on my 6, and at the same time I move in to engage the Yak 9. Now the Yak 9 is in big trouble. There's already 2 teammates engaging him, and as you can clearly see, he crashed. Now at this moment there's no need for me to shoot him again. My teammate's doing that, so I'm going to take out the AA, the AAA. This is very annoying because the AAA can shoot you, but the AAA itself is more annoying to my entire team, so it's actually worth it shooting these. However, the last enemy has just crashed. This means there's no enemies left. What I'm doing now is I'm shooting this guy just to prevent him from taking off again. Absolutely no other reason. Just to prevent him from being repaired and taking off. Of course, the additional points are always nice. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want more tips and tricks on how to improve your gameplay, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video. This was Black Hellhound. I'll see you later.